we are now ready to set up our professional profile. Yay! It's so easy. I mean, the site practically holds your hand and walks you step by step through the entire process. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, now I have logged in with my Amazon credentials, and that's what you're going to do as well. Now, once you're in, your screen should look like this. The first thing you're going to want to set up is your account settings. This is how you're going to guarantee that you are going to get paid. So let's do it. Now, just be sure to go through all the tabs and fill out everything. It's very self-explanatory, but this must be completed before you start, or there's nowhere for the money you make to go, right? So make sure to go to the personal information tab, email settings, tax information, bank information. Now, you don't want to change your password because that will change your password for all of your Amazon accounts, and you probably don't want that, but make sure you get those other 4 done so you can get paid. All right, so once you have your account settings squared away, you want to create your personal profile. It's easy to access and is found right here. Just click here where it is welcoming you with such a polite hello. Hello. All right, now you can see my profile is already set up, but I'm going to walk you through the process because you'll continue to make changes as you become a producer with more and more experience. Now, first, be sure to upload a nice professional/casual picture of yourself. People like to know who's reading for them and feel more comfortable hiring a real person rather than a picture of a flower or something. So once you add your pic, then we will go ahead and click the edit button to continue with our profile. That is right here. All right. Now the first thing we see is our professional name. This is whatever name you want to use. It can be your real name or an alias if you want. Lord knows most authors don't use their real name. Now, if you're a member of SAG-AFTRA, you probably want to use that professional name. We'll talk about unions later. But just know this is the name you'd like to see pop up on Audible. The next thing is the professional summary. Now, this line says about 75 characters works best. So keep it short and sweet here. You can see I've just put what I do and where I am. Very, very easy. Okay, country. Unfortunately, at this point, you only have 2 choices, so hopefully you'll be able to pick one. Location, it says you can select all that apply. So wherever you choose to work, you can go ahead and put. You do have to put something. Location used to be a lot more important back in the days when people would have to travel to studios. They'd like to know that you'd be able to get there rather quickly. At this point, you just have to put something because otherwise your profile won't be completed. So whatever you want to put for location is fine. Gender, pretty self-explanatory. However you identify, and make sure that that is what your voice sounds like. So whatever you want there is good. Okay, genres. This is where you want to be as open as possible. You can see they have a lot of options, and the more you allow yourself to do, the more work you can get. Now, you can see that you can just exclude erotica, which some people just aren't comfortable doing, and that's fine. Just keep in mind that something like 80% of all book sales are in the erotica category. I'm not kidding. I was shocked when I found that out. Now, you can use an alias later if you want to. That's different from your professional name. I'll show you how to do that when we get to turning in a project. But for now, be as open to as many genres as you're comfortable. If you hate and refuse to do comedy, that is your business. Just know it's going to limit your opportunities. Okay. All right, so the About section. This allows you to say more about yourself than the initial summary. I like to put it in paragraph form, so I'm not just listing things. I don't think the ACX algorithm likes lists as much as paragraphs. So you should include as many adjectives as you can from the list of options that authors can say they're looking for. And they're found when you click the search button. Oh, it's actually really hard to see on this page for some reason. But here it says titles accepting auditions. Take some time at some point to choose all of the adjectives that fit your voice and write a nice paragraph about yourself. I'll talk more about that in the next section, I believe. But for now, I will show you what I've done here. I say, I have a very warm, seductive, sexy, deep, and engaging voice that I bring to my vast experience in romance novels. I also bring a fun, smooth, and friendly approach to each book, regardless of how light or steamy it may be. And it goes on. Now, this is not how I would describe myself to, like, any new friend I was trying to meet, but in this professional setting, this is a very appropriate way of describing yourself. So a lot of authors say they're looking for someone with an engaging voice, so that's why I included that. It's like, I am engaging. Engaging kind of means nothing as far as I'm concerned. Of course it has to be engaging. Otherwise, why would you listen to the book? But they put it, so I put it. So you want to do the same thing. All right. Credits. Now, I have listed a ridiculous amount of credits here. You probably want to highlight about 5 to 10 titles and maybe start with a headline like, over 60 books read, including, and then list some popular titles. Now, if you haven't read anything yet, that's perfectly fine. You can just put that you're a fresh voice, which some people love. Or you can read and produce a royalty-free book so that you have some work people can see. I'll talk about how to find royalty-free books in just a minute. But first, we got to go to awards and recognition. Now, this is left blank for most people, and that's fine. It's much less important than your credits. Now, when you read for an author and they say nice things about you, you can use those testimonials in this section as positive recognition. Until then, it's fine to leave this blank. Very few people on ACX have won major awards, so not a problem. Now, for the website, if you have one specifically for voiceover work, then feel free to list it. If it's a website for anything else, then just leave this blank. It's not a big deal. Just please don't add a website trying to drive more traffic to your fertilizer business or whatever. You'll frustrate rights holders who want to know more about your voice work. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on to the next page. All right, so here is where you will add your audio samples. Little clips between 1 and 5 minutes that show what your voice sounds like. Now, this is probably the most important part of your profile because you can describe yourself all you want, but people aren't going to choose you until they like what they hear, right? So your samples can be from anything from ACX. So once you read a book, you can use a sample from it as an example for other people to hire you. You are also allowed to use audition clips from ACX, but I don't like to do this because if I'm not chosen, I think it makes it look like I'm trying to pretend that I was. Instead, I recommend that you pick a royalty-free book that anyone's allowed to produce. Now, a great section of books you can choose from is found at Gutenberg.org. All the books found here are royalty-free, meaning that you can record them and you don't have to pay anyone for the rights. You can even sell your recording on Audible if you want to. It's all old books that are now in the public domain, like Pride and Prejudice and Dracula. This is a great way to build credits and even make a little money if you put them up for sale. So for your voice samples, start with one sample and add as many as you would like. The more you have to show the different things you can do, the better. Show off all the different genres and vocal styles that you can do. The authors are always looking. All right, so let's go back to the page. And once we've uploaded all the samples we can, we will go to the last piece of the profile. Here we are. Last piece of the profile is how you would like to get paid. Now, you can check one or both options. I recommend that you choose both because it opens you up to many more possibilities. Now, my pay for production rate is pretty high because I've been doing this a long time, but this can actually limit me as far as choices. But you could choose any rate that you like. You can even do unspecified. It's completely up to you. And once you've made your payment decisions, we will click continue. And you are now all set. You now have a professional, finished profile ready for viewing by authors everywhere. So cool, right? So now that our profile looks fabulous, let's talk about a few tricks to help our profile stand out and stay at the top of search lists.